After the really bad Saw 4 and 5, you'd expect the Saw series to remain terrible until the end. Well, we actually got one more good movie before the series drew to a close, and that one is Saw 6. The film carries on with the story of Mark Hoffman becoming Jigsaw's accomplice. In fact, there's a lot of developing of the character, and a large chunk of the movie investigates Hoffman's story. This was probably the most interesting part of the movie. Similar to Saw 4 and 5, Saw 6 does in fact rip off one of the first 3 films. In this case, it rips off Saw 3. Again, but luckily it doesn't feel as shameless and lazy as it did in the previous 2 movies, and in fact it actually makes the storyline feel fresh. Honestly, it isn't the exact same plot, it's actually quite different. The film revolves completely around money and insurance companies. The first trap involves 2 predatory lenders who are placed into a room. They are given weapons and have to fight against each other before the timer runs out. There are scales in between the rooms, and whoever puts the most amount of their body parts on the scales win and go free. Instead of being stupid and overblown like the first few films, it was actually a pretty good trap. It wasn't the best trap in the movie, but still it was better than the last 4 opening traps. The rest of the movie is about William Easton, who owns a health insurance company. Right off the bat, you're meant to dislike this character, at least I think you were. He is seen dropping a person from their insurance company because they had a small operation when they were younger that they never said about on their applications. Throughout the film, he is made to be the bad guy. Of course, he's kidnapped and placed into a game. He first has a trap for him to do himself. After he gets out of that, he has to put himself through pain to save the workers of his. Throughout the movie, he is a dick because he always pussies out and lets people die. The most annoying one was during the carousel trap. In this one, a bunch of his workers are spinning around on a carousel. Every once in a while, it will stop and a gun will shoot the person there. That is unless William is willing to put his hand in the contraption that forces a spike through his hand. Why I disliked him here is because he just stands there doing nothing and only saves 2 of the 6 people. The trap, however, is one of the best traps in the entire series. It's unique, exciting, and remains one of the best parts in the entire movie. William has to finish the game in an hour, otherwise he won't see his family ever again. We are shown a mother and son in one room and in the other a woman. It isn't revealed who they are until the end, but we'll get to that later because there's a big twist. There are many parts of the movie that actually go back and explore some of the previous films, especially Saw 3. In Saw 5, it briefly flashed over that John has Hoffman and Amanda helping him at the same time. In this movie, it explores it a little bit more, and we even find out what the letter that Amanda reads in Saw 3 actually says. John's ex-wife Jill also plays a big part in the movie, and it's revealed that she even supported John towards the end. The end of the movie has a really good twist where it turns out the mother and son from earlier were actually the wife and son of the man that William essentially killed by dropping him from their insurance company. The wife and son are then tested as to whether they will forgive William or kill him. Although I hated the character, my heart was really beating during this scene because it's intense and really exciting. The film ends with Mark Hoffman being placed into the reverse bear trap from the original movie. Jill places him in it because we find out that Jigsaw's final wish was for Mark to be his final game. The film ends with him barely beating the trap, but ending up disfigured. There are many problems I have with the 5th film, many of which being there were gaping plot holes. Luckily, a few of them were actually resolved here, which is probably the best thing a sequel can do. Answer the questions asked by the previous movie. Saw 6 answers pretty much every question I had about the previous movies, and that is one of the best parts of the film. There are many really good parts of the film though. The plot, although is basically Saw 3 but repackaged, is still really good. It isn't a shameless ripoff as the last two movies were. The traps are really good and exciting, the direction of the film was really good, and it doesn't feel like a straight to DVD film like the previous film did. Some time and effort was actually put into the movie. Apart from the acting being a little stiff, I didn't have many problems with Saw 6. It sadly was the least successful of the movies, and it led to the final decision to end the series with one more sequel. Saw 6 was really good, although it wasn't as good as the first three, it was much better than the other movies. I give Saw 6 a B+.